You are now listening to Oversaturated, the podcast, hosted by Johnnie and Ralph. Now let's get it.
All right, 128. Welcome to another episode of Oversaturated, the podcast, where we discuss music, movies, pop culture, and everything in between. I'm Johnny.
And I'm Ralph.
Welcome to episode number 128.
128. I am secretary of the Segway this week.
Oh, nice. I love that. New listeners, please follow us on all social media. Facebook, just search Oversaturated the podcast. Twitter is Oversat Podcast. Instagram is Oversat the Podcast. And our email is oversatpodcast@gmail.com. And please check out our website, oversatthepod.com. Anything you need to know about OS is there.
Yes, sir. And if you want to follow us individually, I'm the Mind of Ralph on Instagram and Twitter.
On Twitter, I'm JON2_ the letter B. On Instagram, I'm JBS_ESL_AAMU. Holla at us.
Yeah, man. Another week, 128. We're back.
We're here.
I know, man.
We are here. Man, real quick. So I had like the craziest thing happen to me last week. Okay. So like the latter half of last week, it was real cold, like single digits. So I was like, I need to go to the grocery store. Let me go do this.
Yeah.
So get my groceries. I'm putting everything in the car, and I had a freak accident happen. Like my fingernail got caught on something, and like that shit bent back, like broke in the meat. And that shit was, oh my God, it was bleeding so much. So yeah, that's why I got this Band-Aid on. I don't even know if you noticed, but
I did.
Man, listen, it was bad.
That's crazy.
It was bad. Man, it hurt. So now I got half a nail, and I don't even want to look at it because it feel weird. Like I can't even scratch because it's gonna hurt. It's weird. It's weird.
Those freak accidents probably the worst ones.
Man,
stuff like that.
So unexpected. So just take your time. You know, when you're doing things, just slow down. You don't need to rush.
Definitely.
Crazy.
Definitely. But yeah, man, my week was very uneventful. If that's the case, I have nothing but these takes. That's all I got for it. Like right. Nothing. Like it's man, I'm just happy to be here, man. That's how I look at it. Word.
Yeah, I haven't left the house since like last Tuesday. Like I went to go get a pizza today, but other than that, I haven't been anywhere or done anything. It's just been cold. I ain't trying to be outside in the cold.
Hey man,
Omorion still out here dancing. So
oh man,
yeah, I'm good.
It's so unnecessarily cold outside, and then for those that don't know, they're new to this, we're in the St. Louis area, so I hate cold. Like I hate it. There's no good that comes from it.
Yeah.
No, nothing. No good. Not a nan nutter.
I like for it to be cold when it's supposed to. Like I just want to be in the house drinking my tea and shit.
I don't care if it's January. I don't care. I mean, it's January now. I don't want it to be cold.
So like with money aside, being comfortable, if you had the opportunity to relocate to, let's just say, the West Coast or the South, somewhere where it doesn't
absolutely
get cold
in a heartbeat.
You would, yeah, okay,
yeah, off the dome. I ain't no way, boy. I'm straight.
Ain't no way, boy.
I've been here 30 plus years. What if I'm gonna stay in snow for? I'm straight. I am straight. And this ain't like Wisconsin. Like y'all, they get snow. I don't even want the little snow ice that we get here.
Yeah,
I'm straight.
I'm surprised because a lot of cities got hit with snow last week and we didn't. Look, keep it away,
man.
Keep it away. Straight. I'm the opposite. Like I enjoy the seasons. Like I need it to be the season it's supposed to be. So when it's fall, my hoodie weather, it's winter now. I'm trying to, get my winter coat on.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Oh, so you want to be Tommy? Right? You want to be Tariq peak coat down just because?
I mean, why not?
All right.
That's funny. That's funny, but true though. Like I remember. Okay, last thing I remember in college, I think it was my freshman or sophomore year. December 3rd, I remember this is my sister's birthday. December 3rd, I am wearing shorts to class. And I was like, this is weird. It was weird. It was that hot that I could wear shorts to class. It's like, wow, it's weird to me. So I knew then that I would want to live in a state where I have all the seasons.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. Anyway, Ralph don't care. Off the dome.
At all.
Off the dome. You want to take it?
Yeah.
All right.
Speaking of seasons, right? Since you gave me a beautiful segue that you didn't know. Exotic video locations are always been like a big thing. What is like kind of the first one that kind of pops out? Rap, R&B, rock, pop, whatever. Like, like a beautiful, I don't even want to, kind of lead your answer, but you get my point though, right?
Mm-hmm. Exotic music video locations. See, the first things that come to my mind are all like CGI, like the Missy Elliott joint with the Brad, the Scream video, Michael Jackson.
That's not a real answer, but
well, no, I know. I'm saying that's. Give me your answer. I'm still thinking.
Okay, like and I want to say it was Love You Better with LL Cool J. He was in the waterfall with in a cave or some shit, but he had on a bucket hat and some jeans.
He definitely had jeans on.
Nasty work.
Nah, that's crazy.
But yeah, I mean, that was I don't know if it's pause, applicable if pause applicable, right? But it was a beautiful scenery though. Like,
right.
I'm not talking about him.
It's I think so. The video with what's the song with Diddy and Mariah Carey? Is it Honey? The remix to Honey? Is that it?
Maybe.
Where they were they were like, I don't know exactly where they were, but I know they were on like these speed boats in the water.
Yeah, that was Honey.
But I don't know exactly where they were. But I mean, that's exotic to me. Shit. Especially when they came out, I wasn't thinking about being in no damn speedboats. I didn't know what speedboat was. I thought that was fire.
Bro, I'm surprised.
Drinking champagne.
I'm surprised with all the deserts that people be singing in. You didn't think of that?
I didn't.
Okay.
I didn't.
Okay.
Give me one. Give me a video in the desert.
Boys and Men, Watermelon Drive. They were in the desert.
You right.
Jodeci, they were in the desert too.
Yeah, that's wild.
Case was in the desert.
What song was that?
Missing You.
Okay. Yeah, those definitely didn't. I don't know. Desert. I guess the desert really ain't my scene. I ain't thinking about.
But you want all the seasons though, right?
I do.
That's hot as hell. All right, I got you.
But it's hot as hell all year round though. I ain't trying to be in the desert all year. Only in specific months. All right. So for my off the dome, this is kind of music related. So I want to ask you, what historical Black figure do you think would have a fire mixtape?
Well, obviously ain't nobody that raps. Historical Black figure that will have a fire mixtape. Well, obviously it'll be Malcolm X. He got bars for days, quotables for days. He would talk to the establishment for days over these tracks. His beat selection might be a little ass, but hey.
No, I feel you. For that same reason, I chose Louis Farrakhan.
Okay.
And then I also have Nat Turner. I just feel like Nat Turner will have some fire songs about, his crusades.
The storytelling, right?
Man,
okay.
Listen.
All right.
I think that would be hard. Nah.
I'm not gonna make too many jokes about that.
No.
It's good.
No, Malcolm X and Farrakhan, like joint album type joint. Nah, that yeah. Could you imagine? Could you imagine them going back and forth, kissing styles format, like on a song?
Well, if you know anything about the NOI, they would have never got along in the first place. Let's put that out there.
But still, that would be hard. Yeah, that's just a random question I had, like just sitting watching other podcasts and just watching stuff.
No, that's a funny question, and it makes you think. Like, who you think go have these bars for these people? No, I like that, man. But that was off the dome. When you think of music videos and exotic locations, what's the first video that comes to mind?
Yep. And then, what historical Black figure do you think will have a fire mixtape? Let us know.
Man, look, we gonna be honest with you guys. The picks are slim this week.
Hey man, it was a light week, bro. Listen, it was the first week of 2022. People really just getting back to work. Like people busy. It's light. Ain't really no music out.
What does people getting back to work got to do with news topics?
I don't know, man. Like, I don't know.
That was not gonna land. I was just letting you know that was not gonna land. So I was not gonna let that slide.
You don't know that. That's what I'm saying. Man, I just woke up from a nap. You know that. my brain is just,
okay,
getting back into gear.
Okay. I was gonna make another joke, but we go right past that one. Let's just talk about this, man. Hitboy. Hitboy is proclaiming a 2022 takeover, man. Like, first of all, he's been just all over the place the past few years with projects and producing singles and things of that nature. Definitely, most notably Nas and the Big Sean project from last year. But he plots a Playboi Carti, Snoop Dogg, and the Game albums. It sounds like he's producing all three projects solo. Johnny, wow, what do you think about that headline?
Hitboy putting in work. I mean, he was already putting in work, but this man, he is clearly in a zone. And I don't think they mentioned it in this article, but he's still working with Nas.
For KD3.
Yeah, so it's like, hey, more power to this man. He just out here getting it. I love to see it when somebody is like hitting their stride or in the zone and they just working, just putting out dope product. He hasn't missed with Nas yet, so it'll be interesting to see what he does with these Game, Snoop, and Playboi Carti collabs.
Mm-hmm.
Real interesting Hitboy and Snoop. I don't know if they like worked together in the past, but like an older, let's just say elder statesman in hip hop and one of the newer or current guys in Hitboy production wise, it'll be interesting to see what they come up with together. Not that familiar with Playboi Carti's music, but I mean, hey, Hitboy on the run. So I mean,
I'll just say this: Hitboy decided to work with Playboi Carti in the midst of him working with all these lyricists and big artists. So him and Playboi Carti have some type of synergy that they work well together. I think this is not a money move per se. Playboi Carti is one of those littles that, if you rock with him, you rock with him. If you don't, you don't. Mm-hmm. All right, whatever. But I think I'm most excited to see what him and Game's project is. Like, I am definitely a fan of the Game. Like, I have to say that, with a grain of salt these days. But
I thought the Game retired. Did he say
retired? That's why I said with the grain. So he says a lot of things. So
listen, as long as he don't do no wild album cover like the last joint, like, we good.
And that album was fire, man. But long story short, just Hitboy. He's in a production bag that's like no other right now, especially to take on three solo projects, not to mention all the work that you're giving to Nas and the stuff that's is working. Even the Big Sean stuff, like I like the beats more so than like Sean's rapping on there, but that's another story.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
And the crazy thing is, these are like, including Nas, these are 4 completely different types of artists. So trying to understand how each of these projects will sound is interesting. It's like, because I imagine like working with Nas, they hit their stride with these 3 albums that have come out in the last couple of years, that have 3 distinctively different sounds.
Yeah.
So being able to do that with one artist, I guess it'll be easy to translate different sounds to other artists as well. But it's like, it's wild to be able to put out the amount of product he is and make those sound different.
It's efficient too. Like, I guess that's what we're kind of getting to. Like, for you to put out all this music and it at least sticks, what I'm saying? It has a level of being efficient, because a lot of people can keep shooting. I mean, making it
true. And a lot of things could be recycled. Like a lot of his samples, drums, kicks, 808, all that stuff can be recycled, but I don't think any of that has been recycled, at least with these Nas projects that we've heard.
No, I haven't really heard too many repetitive things, not with the Nas stuff.
Yeah, and even with Benny, the album he did with Benny, that sounded different too. Like,
yeah.
Hitboy going crazy.
Yeah,
He
oh no,
going crazy.
Hitboy is doing something that's unprecedented, I think. Too. More like his big homie that he doesn't like to really acknowledge anymore, Kanye. Like this is, I don't think we really seen anything like this production wise since. And then Kanye didn't take on like multiple solo projects.
Mm-hmm.
Not like that in a short. Well, yeah, it did.
I was just about to say,
it didn't work.
Was that 2019?
I'm thinking about the good Kanye though. Like no, that was 2018.
18?
Actually.
Okay.
But I'm thinking about like Kanye when we,
when Kanye was Kanye.
Kanye.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how I looked at that one. But yeah, Kanye definitely did this in 2018. Like,
and it did land the way he thought it was. It definitely didn't land like this.
Nah, like out of those 5 albums, only one was okay. I mean, not even okay. I mean, it was good. Like Daytona was good. Everything else was just like trash.
Even Tiana's. That was like number two. Number two.
Yeah,
out of the 5.
I think we enjoyed it,
mm-hmm.
but as far as like what the masses thought about it, man. And that's crazy.
That is crazy. That's unfortunate.
That it is.
I'm sitting there trying to think. Have we ever seen another outside
production run like
this?
No, I don't think so.
Man, because at least back in, let's just say, early 2000s, late 90s, like we had these super producers, but they weren't executive producing entire albums. They'll do 2 or 3 joints.
I'll say this, maybe like a DJ Premier. I can see him have doing something like this without even researching it.
Okay,
I can see him because of his production style.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it'll probably.
And I'm not saying like boom bap beats are easy to make. That's not my point. But I just think the way Premier locks in with one person, he's able to do that.
Yeah, this is more what Hitboy is doing is more of a old school type of approach when it comes to making music and making albums and things like that. It's the
producer and the rapper.
Yeah, man. And we're seeing the magic that can come from it. Like it'll be interesting to see, how these projects sound when they do come out. Mm-hmm. And then if other producers going forward will try to mirror what he's doing now, because it hasn't really happened that much like in recent years. No. It'll be dope to see.
Yeah, definitely dope, man. But salute to Hitboy, man. But like you said, it's magic to see this, right?
100%.
Speaking of magic, let's talk about the magic MC Nas, man. One of the ghosts, man. He's actually decided to do something that's a little bit revolutionary, right? He's stepping into the cryptocurrency realm once again by offering NFTs, an NFT partnership to his fans, actually, which I think is dope. Johnny,
yeah, man.
We have talked about NFTs.
We have. So at some point I want to try to get a person that's more knowledgeable on that, on Oversaturated, just so they can explain it. Cause I don't think the way I'm explaining this is clear enough for people, because I really want people to like start looking into this and get into it. But as Ralph mentioned, Nas is partnering with a website called Royal. He's going to offer 2 NFTs, one for his song Ultra Black and one for his song Rare, where if you purchase these NFTs, you get certain ownership rights to these songs where you will be able to get royalties. So in total, he's giving away 50% of the ownership of these songs to fans. And the way to buy your portion of the ownership is to purchase these NFTs. Now, these NFTs go on sale, or they go live on January 11th, which is one day after this episode drops. So go to royal.io. That's where you can actually purchase these. Now, I don't know. From what I've researched, you do have to have some type of cryptocurrency wallet to actually purchase these. So like if you have the app Coinbase, if you have Bitcoin, maybe from like Cash App or something. I personally use MetaMask. So buy your Bitcoin or buy your Ethereum, which is usually used to purchase NFTs is Ethereum. And then you will be able to purchase this NFT when it goes live. Now there are certain tiers. So for the song for the song Ultra Black, there's a $50 tier, there's a $250 tier, and then there's a $5,000 tier. personally, I'm gonna go for the $50 tier for Ultra Black. And then
go for the $5,000, baby. Go swing. Go hard to go home.
Man, listen, if I had the $5,000,
what's big money to small change? 2 words after this ball game. You got it.
well, I'm still in the game playing right now, so this game ain't over yet. Listen, my thing is I would love for people to get into this type of trading, investing when they can, but don't spend the money you're not willing to lose. And that's where I'm at right now when it comes to investing. It's
it's a gamble.
Yeah. Yeah. So I start low, and then what?
Now this is the thing, right? You're buying into how do I say this? And I'm not being disrespectful. I'm trying to think of a good way to say it.
I got you.
No, it's kind of like, this isn't Illmatic that I'm buying it to. You know what I'm saying?
Correct.
So it's kind of like, how do I benefit from buying into an album that I'm not sure if it's being streamed like that? You know what I'm saying? Like that. Like I'm trying to say that this is not. No, it's a great work, but it's not the one that's going to be heralded the most.
Right.
So how do I put money into an NFT if I don't? I mean, hell, you don't really know what's going to happen in the future. That's any musician or any piece of art. Like, I'm buying it at the ground level. I don't know what it's worth. I don't know what it's gonna do. I don't know if it's gonna depreciate, whatever.
Right.
So it's kind of like, I guess, what's the difference between me doing this and I guess a stock or something? You know what I'm saying?
Well, from my own personal
understanding,
it's like, I think it's wise to invest in things that you like, things that you care about. So like, if you're an Apple person, you invest your money in Apple stock. Like, Apple will probably be here forever. Like, you don't invest your money in Samsung. I mean, you could invest your money in Samsung, but why when you know you use Apple products type thing? So, you're a hip hop rap lover, a Nas fan. Yeah. Nas, you're one of your favorite artists, is offering you a piece of his royalty, ownership of his own work. Yeah. Like, to me, that's the incentive. It's like, it's Ultra Black. Yeah, I think this was just a single. Was this on one? It was
a single from KD1, the original one.
Yeah. So I mean,
Jesus Christ, if it was Car 85, I don't really like Ultra Black like that.
Right. And I mean,
but I know
the song is like, but again, I get to own a piece of that. Like, that's dope to me.
I'll go for Rare.
That's fine.
That's like me. I just want to go with the song I like.
No, which is perfectly fine. Now with Rare, the tiers are $99, $499, and then $10,000.
I guess that's how you know the song better.
No, big facts. Though. Big facts. And then with each of these tiers, you get certain perks. So like for Rare, the $499 tier, you get exclusive merch. You get access to a Hip Hop 50 Discord, and then you get access to Sweet Chick secret menu. I'm not sure what that is. I'm sure maybe it's like a restaurant or something. But when you do the $10,000 tier, you get 2 VIP concert tickets, you get exclusive signed vinyl, a video conversation with Hitboy, and then you get all the perks from the other tiers as well.
No, $10,000. I need to speak to Nas.
Yeah.
10 racks. I need to talk to Nas. I ain't talking to Hitboy. I need to talk to Nas.
Let me talk to both of them.
Man, no, I don't even want Hitboy cool, but I want to talk to for 10 racks. I'm talking to Nas.
But even in the
Ultra Black, it comes with that type of incentive.
Yes. I'm trying to. Yeah, it comes with the same exact incentives for $5,000. So, like you said, that's funny though. That's how you know Rare is the better song. It's the better song.
Why are you charging more for Rare? Hey, look.
Because it's rarer.
Nah, talk about it.
Yeah, man. But so, like, what do you think about this? Like, that
I think it's dope. I think it's revolutionary. I mean, well, just something that Nas is being at the forefront of, because I don't think we really heard of NFTs in this way for rap artists, right?
Yeah, right. Okay. This is the first that I'm
okay.
Yeah.
And for Nas to offer, the tiers and the parts of it, it's kind of like, for one, it shows that where he's at financially and everything. Like, hey, look, you guys can get the little get the little money off of this, get the little funds off of that. But no, I think it's dope. It's just, our rappers still being at the forefront, being innovative, and all the words that you can think of, all the superlatives. I don't,
Yeah, man.
I'm tempted to do the $50 tier. I'm tempted.
Like even if you don't fully understand it, I'm talking to the listeners now. Even if you don't fully understand it, I still would encourage you to at least attempt to purchase the $50 tier, like whatever the lowest tier is. Just attempt to purchase it, because I feel like this is just step one of the future. Like things like this are going to continue to happen. Like I believe this is going to be success. Like this, what Nas is doing right now is going to be successful. And I think a lot of other artists are going to jump on the bandwagon and doing similar things. And with that, like we got to keep our eyes on it, keep our ears out to the streets, the virtual streets.
Yeah.
So we can know about these things. Like, I don't even know how I saw it. I just somebody may have retweeted this or something on Twitter. Like, it was random how I saw it. Like, I didn't even know this was happening. So when I saw it, I read through, I was like, oh no, this is fire. Like, I need part of this. I need to be a part of this.
Nas is the type of person that wants to give the wealth back over to the people, and I think it's dope. I ain't got nothing to say about that. That is dope.
This is almost like Jay-Z putting Blue Ivy on a track, like so she could get royalties. Like this is essentially the same thing. He's allowing the fans, he's allowing the public in order to be a part of this, which is fire. Like this is fire, man.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, man. This is dope. So again, that's royal.io. The NFTs go live on January 11th. From what I read, I think it said 1 p.m. like Pacific. But I'll double check that and I'll tweet that out or something, just to double check and be sure. But yeah, man, shout out to Nas. This is fire. I can't wait to see like how this pushes forward the needle with all the other artists and cryptocurrency going forward, man.
Yeah, man.
Fire.
Staying on the business of the talk of business, I should say, music business. We have a posthumous album getting ready to be released from none other than Aaliyah. The album will be titled Unstoppable. The album, there's no release date that I see, but it's supposed to come later this month. Okay, Johnny, your thoughts on this?
I am a little conflicted. Not gonna lie to you. It's been 20 or so years since Aaliyah passed away. So not really sure how much unreleased music she had at the time of her passing. If they're just gonna like reuse old vocals or things like that. And the one thing that I noticed in reading this article is that there aren't a lot of women R&B artists on this album, which I think is kind of weird, because I think women in R&B are kind of killing it right now. I'm not like deep into the R&B streets, but the few albums that I have heard, like Cleo Soul, I heard some of Summer Walker's, SZA, people really anticipating SZA. Like I would expect those types of artists to be on this album, and they are not. So I'm not really sure how I feel about this.
This is nasty work. Like, I don't think anybody was really anticipating an Aaliyah album. This is her uncle exploiting her legacy, pretty much. There you go. I mean, you already put the albums out for streaming. People wanted to hear those. If you want, Aaliyah music, we can go listen to it. Why would we? I don't think you can craft a good album out of vocals that old. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I personally, I don't feel like you can. Now, I could be wrong. There are plenty examples of posthumous albums that have worked, but they didn't wait 20 plus years to release it.
Yeah.
I know. I'm just like, when you do like because I think Marvin Gaye dropped something from his estate, and it was like an album that was just sitting there, and they released it. It was cool. But then again, Marvin didn't really have his hand in it. Yeah, he sung the songs, but as far as like the final push of the button, this is my baby, I'm putting it out, I think is nasty. So her uncle has definitely exploited her her music throughout, when she was alive, and definitely throughout death. So I'm not anticipating this. I don't really care who's on it. Like I see you got a Chris Brown feature. Okay, cool. Like I see Drake on here. All right, whatever. Like, and like you can, like Aaliyah can have vocals on their joints. but a whole album.
Yeah, it's kind of
like they said. Even Neo gave a song. Like, how can Neo give you an excellent song for this? Neo writes the songs. Like, this ain't like Neo wrote the song for Aaliyah, right? And like, now I know what they meant when they said Neo probably was on the song or helped produce the track, but Neo didn't give you the song.
Right. This, I just don't understand how we could possibly have a good Aaliyah album 20 years after her passing. It's no way. Like the sound quality of whatever audio she has is just probably won't be up to par with 2022 standards. No matter how much producing you can do on a track, like I just don't think this is gonna work, man. I don't think it's gonna work.
Yeah,
I didn't even expect anything like this to happen. I don't think anybody was. This is just, it's weird, man. It's weird.
It's nasty work, man. That's all I got for it. It's nasty work. And then like this, this article is definitely rooted in opinion. The root, I get it now. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, like you said, just the lack of R&B women on here that could have been on here, especially a lot of the girls that look up to Aaliyah. Yeah. Like you see the names, so I don't really have to get into that, but it's just like it would have been dope if her could have been on here. Like I get the point now. Like, and I think we even talked about this, like have like a album where, and I never thought about it in a posthumous way, but like when somebody is clearly the influencer and the influenced is on the album with that person. Right. So that would have been dope to see. Like Aaliyah, for whatever you think about her and her music or whatever, right? Aaliyah was a definitely an icon, at least in our spaces, right? The way she looked, the way she dressed, the way she sang, the way she carried herself, right? That's definitely an influence in women and Black women R&B. Right. And she was just ascending to popdom. So a lot of those girls probably looked up to Aaliyah in a way that they probably can just, do a track with her in a sense. So
exactly. And this, I don't even know if this is like a remix album, like, or if this is just brand new, quote unquote.
From what it seems like, it is brand new music.
That's crazy.
Like I said, nasty work. About 5 years ago, we realized that we had quite a bit of music that we had never put out that was recorded by Aaliyah. The vocals were there, and then we tried to remaster it and ask other artists that were big fans of her if they would like to participate on being on various songs. So these are new songs. That's a quote from Barry Hankerson, her uncle.
I don't think that whatever music she recorded back then, I don't think will translate well today. I don't.
Listen, they dissected the old stuff already. Like they was on 1 in a Million. They was on the self-titled album, because she only had 3 albums, right?
I believe so.
It was the one by Nasty Man, Aging, but the number. I know we called him by name last week, but we got to stop saying the name. Yeah. You got 1 in a Million, and then you had the self-titled album, which and then she had I Care for You. I think that was released right after she passed too. But 3 for sure.
This is wild. Like this. Now, question is, when it drops, are you going to listen?
I'm not running to listen to it. I didn't run listen to the old stuff. Personally, I was like, Asian number. She had like Bob's Ledger, real, but
I did run 1 in a Million back just for the beat,
but not the album.
Yeah. And It's true.
But you had to be deep into your bag to enjoy Aaliyah like that. So that's not, any disrespect to her. I mean, her or her legacy at all.
Yeah, man. This is wild. I don't think anybody was really expecting this, so we'll see what happens.
Yeah, man. But speaking of something that's kind of disrespectful to legacy, right? Katt Williams, provoked, I guess you would say, was in a recent interview, and he said Eddie Murphy does not deserve the favorite comedian title. To give some context, right? He said everyone should not call Eddie Murphy their favorite comedian because he's only had 2 stand-ups, and then he left the world of stand-up to go pursue and be a box office star. So the comedian title is that he feels like it shouldn't be warranted, right? It shouldn't be like he should be a comedian's comedian if that's the case.
Right.
So Johnny, what do you think about these comments, and what do you think about them coming from Katt Williams?
I mean, based on Katt Williams's explanation, it will make sense. Now, again, Katt Williams is allowed to feel however he wants to feel, but I feel like he can't push that on other people. Like, it's people that were between 21 and 35 when Raw and Delirious came out, and that's probably that's their magnum opus when it comes to stand-up comedy. So maybe they feel like, hey, that's still my favorite comedian because those are my favorite stand-ups of all time, which is cool. Like, if that's what you like, cool. Now, me personally, I think Katt Williams' comments kind of made sense. Like, yeah, Eddie Murphy was on SNL for how many of a season, I don't know, but he also had those 2 stand-ups which came out in the 80s, right? No other stand-up since then. Yes, he did pursue a life of acting, which is fine, but like, as far as being a comedian, I feel like you would still need to do stand-up, do those comedian type things like stand-up comedy specials, whatever. And he wasn't slated to do like a Amazon Prime joint or something.
I think it was Netflix. He got the money from Netflix.
Oh, a Netflix, but I mean, it never came out, right? So I don't know. I honestly, I low-key think I agree with Katt Williams. Like, not saying Eddie Murphy is a terrible comedian or is not funny or anything like that, but it's the same argument I have with people putting Andre 3000 in like top 5 MCs ever. Like, you just can't. I feel like you can't because he doesn't have a solo rap album. But that's me though.
There's 2 different lines of work, but I hear what you're saying.
Yeah.
But with Eddie is I guess the exception to the rule, and we have to think about that. In the 80s, when you're doing comedy and doing stand-ups, I guess it's just different when they're able to start translating to Hollywood checks.
Okay.
Like, I don't know if Eddie would have been, well, I'm not sure. I know Eddie he could have done a comedy tour. That's clear.
Oh yeah, 100%.
That's obvious.
Hell, he could do it now if he wanted to.
But I'm getting all these Hollywood checks. Like, I'm getting this Paramount Pictures want to sign me for this much. I ain't got to do the most stand-up. But nope, he didn't force the narrative. People herald him as the greatest comedian. That's not, I guess, because of the layer of success that he had from being able to do improv, being able to do stand-up, and translate into comedic acting. You can't name 3 that can do that. You can't name too many other comedians that can do the improv, the stand-up, and the movies. And you're probably getting into a rare area like a Jamie Foxx or something like that. Like that, and that's still
rare as hell.
Still rare.
So I guess
so it's like he's trying to not diminish Eddie's accomplishments. It's just saying that comedian is something like maybe he should just be entertainer.
Yeah,
but comedian is definitely for those that do the stand-up. Because, I mean, if you want to be honest, like, Katt Williams has way more stand-ups than Eddie Murphy. And I probably would say more than I enjoy, but that's because I grew up on Katt.
Right, exactly.
I didn't grow up on Eddie. Exactly. I grew up on Eddie movies, but I didn't grow up on his stand-ups. Right. Those are 2 different things.
There was an era, I guess, honestly, we missed the Eddie Murphy comedian era. We saw the Eddie Murphy.
Honestly, we missed this movie era too. We was just, nobody was. We were 1, 2, 3,
okay,
if that.
Big things. Damn, no, that's right. That's true.
Coming to America came out in 87. I was born in 87. Come on, man.
Right, I was mad young when Boomerang came out. That was early 90s, right?
And that was 92. Yeah, 92.
Yeah. Oh, damn. You know what?
So by the time
Norbit and Dave, those are the Eddie Murphy movies.
I was about to say, come on, man, Nutty Professor, man, don't do that.
Okay, you're right. Nutty Professor.
I was about to say, when you like, for me and Johnny's age range, I think where we really could understand what we're watching was probably Nutty Professor.
Right.
And that's not even like, I don't think people heard it as like one of the best Eddie Murphy films.
Probably not, but I will.
But I mean, box office wise.
But what I will say, Eddie Murphy did his thing in that, because that was the first time I've seen, and I don't know if that was the first time ever that one individual played 7-8 different characters in the same scene. Like, that was fire.
Mm-hmm.
That was fire, and it was done really well. So that's like, I guess the to me, the top tier Eddie Murphy, that Boomerang, like that, because that's what I grew up on,
Mm-hmm.
Eddie Murphy wise.
Mm-hmm.
And Eddie Murphy has been able to have such a long career that he has different eras of his career. Like, he has the comedian era, he has the actor era, he has the improv era. And he's, I mean, at a point now where he has
all of it came right together though, too. Like, his rise was meteoric, right? Mm-hmm. Meteoric.
Got it.
I landed that one. All right, but you know, if we're talking about Eddie Murphy's prime, it was the 80s, undoubtedly. Like, when you think of 80s, you only think of certain people, right? And there's not more than Eddie Murphy that you're going to think of. So everything that you think about is like his accomplishments within that 10-year frame. It wasn't even a full 10 years, because we gotta say it really didn't start in 1980, probably started in 82. Like, I don't know.
So for Eddie Murphy specifically, his meteoric rise in those, let's just say, 8 years in the 80s, strong enough to carry the best comedian, top 5 comedian, whatever,
because
up until 2022. Like, he's been able to hold that because of what he did in the 80s.
Because I don't think you ever seen any success like that. And you've seen success, and I'm not talking about just from Black comedians, just from across the board. Like, you had Dane Cook doing Madison Square Garden and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, Kevin McCart doing like stadiums. Like, so I don't really know. And I'm not saying that they're funnier than Eddie. I'm just talking about the success.
Yeah, right.
Success. It like I'm a lost of words. So it's kind of like comedians, and then like we watched like comedians that are funny, and they probably never had the same success of an Eddie Murphy, but they have you like dying watching them deliver jokes. Remember comedian K-Dub?
Oh yeah,
remember we talked about? Yeah. Remember how funny that?
Nah, that
he was hilarious, right?
Right.
Eddie Murphy ain't never made me laugh like that. True. Not from a joke,
True.
Not from telling a joke,
True.
But from being funny in a film. Yes.
but
that's just a different way of how, you know, two different comedians deliver jokes.
Yeah. Because film funny and stand-up funny is different funnies to me.
Exactly.
And not everybody can do both.
Everybody can't do both. That's because true. Like we always give Mike Ep shit for not being funny on stage. At least I do. I'm not gonna speak.
No, I say that shit too.
Okay,
I've seen Mike Epps live. I think a couple times, and I was not amused.
I was not impressed.
I was not amused.
I mean, I won't say impressed because that's disrespectful to Mike. I think Mike is still funny, but he was doing day on stage, and I don't think that really worked for me.
No, it didn't.
But he is a hell of an actor. One. And then he just has like he's able to infuse comedy really, really well, because I've seen him do a lot of dramatic stuff too. So I don't want to just limit him to being comedic. Right. So Mike Epps is dope, but we stand-ups, nah, get them out of here.
So let me ask you this, because the only other person, I think you mentioned this, the only other person I can compare right now Eddie Murphy to is a Kevin Hart. It's in terms
successful.
In terms of success, right?
Yes.
So okay, it's 2022, 2052, 30 years from now.
Okay.
Let's say Kevin Hart, he said, you know what, I'm good. I'm a family man now. I'm not really doing much of anything else anymore. All the success that Kevin Hart has had in the past 10, 15 years or whatever, is that strong enough to carry him for the next 30 years, saying that he's one of the greatest entertainers?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. If you're talking about success, yes. Because you gotta think about it. Kids grow up and see Kevin Hart. Like, it's a generation, 2 generations up under us that see Kevin Hart doing his thing. So you can't neglect their POV, even though they weren't around for Eddie. And technically we weren't around for Eddie, not his prime, but we still seen remnants of Eddie Murphy.
And that's interesting. The comparison between Kevin Hart and Eddie Murphy is interesting, right? So Kevin Hart I feel like his run was longer than Eddie Murphy's. But
if you're talking about like box office success,
that and stand-ups.
Well, we talking about somebody that's still doing since the 80s. When was the last Eddie Murphy film that came out?
Right. That's what I'm saying though.
Like Dolomite Is My Name. That was 2020,
yes.
2019, 2020. It came out in the pandemic.
Yeah.
It was critically acclaimed.
But so okay, that aside, right? Because that's current. Like that's hella current.
Are you talking about the height of their power?
I'm talking about the height, yeah. So because
we're in the middle of the Kevin Hart era, or at least toward the tail end of it, because you see he's starting to pivot and do,
other things. Yeah.
So I think they're almost parallel. He just did stand-ups in between the movies. And it's an era thing too, bro. Movies back then took way more in production, right?
Right.
Like Kevin Hart could just do film. Right. Remember, he was doing film after film after film.
It's true.
So
no, big fact.
So yeah, those numbers go be a little crazy. Like, you know what I'm saying? We pulled up like a box office like side by side of like certain films from like a 7-year stretch. It's gonna be different because Kevin Hart probably films 2 films a year plus doing a stand-up. That was a lot.
But I guess I'm looking at it from a quality versus quantity type of thing.
Well, that's the thing. The quality is on Eddie Murphy's side.
Exactly.
The quantity is on Kevin Hart's side.
Exactly. So do you think with those two individuals as entertainers, do you think with Eddie Murphy's quality and Kevin Hart's quantity, do you think it's the same? It'll be able to carry both of them the same.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Because like this is the thing. Jumanji, all those films that we don't think is like average, like the Jumanjis, the Get Hard, whatever film that Kevin Hart did, it's a 10-year, like a 12, 13-year-old that grew up on them joints that's enjoying the hell out.
Right. Agreed.
So who are we to neglect their POV of what they think of Kevin Hart? You know what I'm saying? Because Kevin Hart is literally everywhere.
And that's what I was saying right when we started the conversation. Like, yeah, I agree with what Katt Williams is saying, but there's a whole generation of people that grew up or was old enough to understand what Eddie Murphy was doing when he was doing it. So 30 years later, yeah, they probably still hold him as that, as that
I
dude.
think he's like the standard industry answer for he's the number one comedian of all time because of the success of improv, the success of the stand-ups that propelled him to box office success. Right. Being a box office draw. And something you've never seen before.
Right. And it just so happens that all of that was within the span of let's just say 10 years.
Yeah, but I don't know. Katt Williams, like this thing about Katt, right? Let's kind of get off the Kevin Hart and the Eddie Murphy part of it, right? I think with Katt, he does come out with a lot of commentary and thoughts of certain comedians because he has issue or voice displeasure with like Kevin Hart and things like that.
Yep.
I think it's almost like look at me and look at what I'm doing, and it's a little bit of hate, just a smidget. But
it might be a little bit more, but yeah. It might be a little bit more.
Like it's like I'm trying not to, but it's like when you hear his explanation, it's like, okay, it's not hate, but it's hate. Like it's like, yeah, you got
it's medium hate. It's medium hate. That's hella funny.
That's the best way to eat a steak. Medium, right? So it's like that's the way to digest the hate. It's gotta be medium.
That's hella funny.
I'm just saying, bro. Because think about it like this. Like when he said that stuff about Kevin Hart, we was like,
where is this coming from?
He was like, where is this coming from? But then again, he had a point. And it's like, can't nobody diminish what Katt Williams has done. And I'm not saying he's Kevin Hart or he's Eddie Murphy, but he is Katt Williams.
Yeah.
Like still.
Yeah.
Hold on, you went to go see him, right?
Yeah, I did.
I mean, he sold out an arena.
Yeah, he did.
So and that's Katt Williams because he's Katt Williams.
Katt Williams is still Katt Williams.
Exactly.
Whatever issues he had in the past aside, like he's still him.
Yes.
Now, if Katt Williams continues to, let's just say, speak out against his fellow comedians, do you think this can tarnish his legacy?
It's almost like he wants people to have revisionist history about what they think about Kevin Hart, what they think about Eddie Murphy, what they think about what's popular and what's conventional. nothing's wrong with speaking out and about your opinion. So we do it. We do it. So I'm not diminished. I'm not shitting on Katt for what he feels, but it does sound like a little bit of bitterness, a little bit of hate. But you're still Katt Williams, and then a lot of the problems that you had or have are probably self-inflicted anyway.
Okay.
A lot of the arrests, a lot of the drinking and drugs and things like that. Also, Katt has said that he spoke out on plenty of times that he didn't want to be Hollywood's guy. Like he saw a lot of things that he didn't like. That's why he bucked against the system the way that he did.
Gotcha.
So he didn't get a lot of that mainstream push that a Kevin Hart would get. Gotcha. But those were his words. It's probably one from those many interviews that Katt Williams does, but that's what he said.
Yeah, well, I mean, listen, I've never been to Hollywood. I don't really want to be a part of Hollywood, but I think it's some real wild, nasty shit that go on.
Hey man, rest in peace, Paul Mooney. But he said Hollywood is a nasty place, filthy place. It needs to be burnt to the ground like Sodom and Gomorrah. That's what he said, and that's coming from Paul.
and I believe it. I 100% believe it. Like that's not for me. But anyway, Katt Williams, my guy. Katt Williams Katt Williams gonna always be Katt Williams. Like issues aside, anything that happened aside, like
Katt Williams.
Man's is hilarious. Pimp Chronicles still part 1, still top 10 stand-ups to me. Like
period.
Was there ever a part 2? I don't think so.
I know, but
if it is, I missed it.
I know there's only 2 Katt Williams stand-ups that come to mind. I like the Pimp Chronicles, the purple velvet. I mean, not the purple velvet, the green velvet jacket.
Man.
Got it. That's
her leg didn't move. He was sweating. Her didn't even fall.
Iconic, right? And then even the one that he did a few years ago, which is on Netflix, he did in Jacksonville. I think it's called Made in America. Now,
I remember that one. Yep.
That one was really good.
Yep.
That was really good. And that was after. Was that after he got into the fight with the 8th grader?
Oh yeah. Damn. Okay, shout out to Katt Williams. Man.
Shout out to Katt Williams, man. Hey, man, salute to the king, man. But man, we got some news that the people can use, man. Real quick, last but certainly not least, 4-star wide receiver, the number 1 slot receiver in the nation, who happens to be a St. Louis native, Kevin Coleman Jr. commits to Jackson State University yesterday at the All-American game. Johnny, your thoughts? We cooking fish.
Yeah, but listen, man, this is dope. We talked about this. I think we've been talking about this the last few episodes, but like these young Black student athletes are deciding to go to these HBCUs. They're choosing these HBCUs on like.
I'm paid.
Look, you see what I mean, baby. Look, you see Alabama A&M all day, but listen, it's
they beat the brakes off us last year, man. They beat us. It was like 63-15,
and that was homecoming. I'm still hurt. Let's not talk about it.
Okay, all right. The bigger picture.
But what I'm saying is,
all right, the bigger picture.
I am thoroughly happy to see these Black student athletes choose to go to these HBCUs, whether it's A&M or not.
Yeah,
I'm very happy. So it's a lot of these 4 or 5-star recruits coming out of high school that's choosing these HBCUs, but there are also transfers from these big PWIs that are going to HBCUs as well. I am so interested to see next college football season because a lot of this talent are going to these HBCUs now. So it should be a lot more eyes, a lot more television appearances going on, a lot higher quality football games in the HBCU circuit. So I am so excited to see this.
Yeah, man. I think it's dope, man. Like I said, man, I reserve my anti rhetoric for this episode. But it's dope. Like obviously it's dope, right? Okay, maybe I am gonna get to my anti-bag just a little bit, right? Go ahead. I hope Deion stays, man. I hope Deion stays, right? Because my emphasis was on the players last time, right? And my point was that the money will always get you. Now I know that they throwing bags at Deion. Now, I'm not sure if it's the right program. Now, if the right program comes calling, who's to say what Dion may or may not do? And then it'll be tougher on the next coach. To keep up the success that Dion has had in his short window of being the head coach at Jackson State University. But I'm happy because, like we said, there's a tide coming, a tide changing. No crimson tide, but a tide changing. Tide coming to change that's in college football and hopefully in all of college athletics, where I think that the athlete chooses where they will be happy the most. And if a HBCU happens to be there, or multiple HBCUs happens to be the choice, let the athlete make that sound decision. Don't let them feel like, oh, if you want to go to the league, you have to go to the said school. No. And the exposure is going to follow you because you are the man. Like he's the number 11 overall recruit in the country, but he's the number 1 slot receiver. So that type of athlete going to, HBCU where you'd be lucky you get a 3-star at HBCU, respectfully. You know what I'm saying? I'm HBCU alum, Alabama, what up? But it's a different type of football. Yeah. It's a different quality. So when you get a good player, that's usually because they got kicked out of PWI for arrest, academics. Usually when
we're able to speak on this because we were actually there. We saw these things happen.
If Buddy came from Georgia, it's because
some shit happened.
He was wild. He was a wild boy, and he had to go sit down somewhere. And usually, HBCUs are a Division I AA. So that's why they would transfer down to an HBCU so they can play automatically, and they wouldn't have to sit out a year.
Right.
But the transfer portal doesn't change the game. Like, they can go anywhere they want to go and not have to sit out. So if I can play for Jackson State this year, and if, maybe if it doesn't work out, I'm not, saying that it won't. I mean, if he doesn't feel good at Jackson State, can go somewhere else.
Come to
next year.
If you tired of your coaches being on social media going viral all the time, then come over to A&M. No, but look, let me ask you this. Do you think, follow me. Do you think it's inevitable that Deion Sanders will leave Jackson State? Like, to go to a bigger school to coach football?
I'll say this. If his own alma mater didn't fucking hire him, and I didn't mean to cuss right there, but if his own alma mater didn't hire him, which is nasty work, like, Deion is the best player to ever come out of Florida State. That's not even a debate. If you didn't hire him as your coach, and you knew he was seeking to be a coach, nasty work. But listen, the right program has to come along, and then it just happens to be that Jackson State was the right program for Deion to put align his brand with. Because honestly, man, look, we talking about Deion, Primetime Sanders. I'm a charge them so much they got to put me on layaway. That is a Deion Sanders quote. Nobody loves Deion more than Deion. We talk about Kanye. Nobody loves Deion more than Deion. So I'm not saying that his intentions aren't pure, that he doesn't care about his people, his students, the success of Jackson State as an overall entity. But I do feel like, just as most of these college football coaches do, they'll pick themselves first.
Gotcha.
Because if you look at the counterparts of Deion Sanders, they leave one school in the middle of a championship run. They be like, Notre Dame 10-2. Well, hey, buddy, LSU calling. I'm gonna take the bag down to LSU. Man, what? Like,
it's true.
That just happened. So it's
so I asked that to say, if that happens, I hope it's at a time where the Jackson State and HBCU football programs overall are self-sustaining when it comes to recruiting these top recruits. So let's just say after the 2022 season, he decides to go wherever, right? I don't think that's long enough for Jackson State and HBCU landscape of football to sustain itself. I'm thinking 5 years out at least. So Deion Sanders, if you're listening, if you decide to go somewhere else, please let it be at least 5 years down the road, because we want to make sure that the HBCU landscape of football and honestly sports in general is self-sustaining with getting these recruits. Still keep doing the good work that you're doing now, so other schools can jump on too, because not only A&M but Prairie View, I think Southern, a lot of these schools in the SWAC are getting top recruits when it comes to football. So I would love for that to continue in the coming years. So I just hope that continues before he decides to leave, so it can be self-sustaining. That's my only point.
We'll see.
Yeah, we definitely will see.
We'll see.
Well, okay. Last question. If Deion Sanders decides to leave before it becomes self-sustaining, is there any other person that will be able to come in and continue the work Deion Sanders has already started?
Well, the work part, yes. The branding, no.
Okay.
The work. I think the work can all, like, once you start, the work can continue. I think the brand helps what JSU, like, JSU is like, if you ever met a JSU alum, Jesus, they up there with Howard. They up there with Howard alums. Like, they're up there with them. And shout out to, man, it's all love in the HBCU world. But but the JSU brand is already strong. So Prime, Coach Prime, Deion Sanders aligning himself with that brand only, empowers what everything is. Everybody benefits, right? Now, the next coach after Deion, he ice skating uphill. No, like, it's so big facts. I don't know if there's anybody out there that can match what Prime brings as far as like the brand. But as far as coaching and recruiting, I'm like, hey, that's a drop in the bucket, honestly. Yeah. To me.
That's a good observation though. That brand, Deion Sanders' brand definitely aligns with Jackson State.
I mean, because think about it like this. You got the Barstool sports stuff. ESPN pays a lot of attention to what Deion Sanders does. So all that, ain't nobody bringing it unless you get like another NFL all-time type of person. Right. Not a former NFL coach, because we got HBCUs that got Hugh Jackson, like he coaches at Grambling State. He was a former NFL coach. He had, well, no, he didn't have success. He had a lot of losing seasons, but still, that's an NFL coach. Right. So, with that being said, it's kind of like, but he ain't Deion, though. Eddie George, coaches for Tennessee State. I don't know if Eddie George is a Hall of Famer. I'm not sure. He might be fringe. I'm not sure. But Eddie George ain't Deion Sanders. Eddie George is a hell of a football player. Don't ever get it twisted. But Deion is freakishly one of the best athletes we ever seen. Point blank. Period. So that is a different type of monster. You know what I'm saying? He could have went, like, you see the notoriety that he's bringing to Jackson State, and Jackson State ain't no small fry. You know what I'm saying? Imagine he went to one of the big Power 5 schools. Oh my God, man. Yeah, like one of them. Yeah, man. It's, again, you and I started this conversation back in like 2019 about these student athletes going to HBCUs, and actually seeing it happen is dope. Yeah, it is. I hope and pray that it continues. I really hope and pray it continues. So we'll see how the 2022 football season goes in the fall. So yeah, man. Yes, sir, man. But that's the end of our docket, man. We appreciate you guys for rocking with us. We're at the end of our news that the people can use, all that great stuff. Yeah, man. So if you're watching on YouTube, don't forget, like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell, join in on the discussions of everything that you heard today. Yeah. Don't forget to get your Nas. This is not an ad. They should pay us, but I want my people to listen, man. I'm really trying to listen. The reason I'm bringing this particular thing with Nas up and NFTs in general is like, I want us, the Black community, to like jump on this shit now, because 5-10 years from now it's gonna be too late. It's gonna be too late. So that's why I'm trying to push that shit out now. So royal.io, check that shit out, January 11th. Cool. All right. If you're still on audio, it's time for OS Song of the Week. You want me to take it?